Hey everyone, MorbTron here. Are you on the fence about returning to Destiny 2 or just starting to play Destiny 2 at all before Beyond Light comes out in November? Now we've got until November 10th until Beyond Light comes out, but I gotta say, it might be a good idea, and actually is a good idea if you are a new or returning player that hasn't played in a very long time, to kind of dabble into the game. I'm not saying jump head first and make it your career or anything like that. By all means, you don't have to do that, but it would be a good idea to at least dabble in the game, at least casually, to get used to game mechanics, especially if you are new or haven't played since all the way back in year one. Now, I have a friend that hasn't played basically since Crucible released, and he was actually able to get to 1050 power, which is the powerful cap. Pinnacle cap goes up to 1060 currently. And he's able actually to learn the game a little bit, get reacquainted with, the mechanics of certain subclasses, that sort of thing, kind of relearn the game, and it's been a very good experience for him. So I would kind of extend that invitation to anybody that maybe is thinking about starting to play the game. It is currently free to play, and will continue to be free to play. And in fact, there's going to be a lot of other free stuff coming in Beyond Light as well. So even if you are on the fence about, making that purchase and pre-ordering Beyond Light, you don't have to. Just play the game. It's free to play. Get used to the game mechanics if you like it. By all means, you can even wait until after Beyond Light releases and see what you get for free and see what you have to pay for and make your decision based off that as well, whether or not you want to buy it or not. You don't have to spend a single dollar to get into this game right now, and with how much you are given for free in Destiny 2 right now, I think it's a great opportunity to really kind of feel how the game plays, get used to game mechanics, get yourself some good loot, some good weaponry. There's not a whole lot of the game actually that's barred for somebody that does not have, the current expansion paid for. Maybe beyond a dungeon or two, one or two raids, but beyond that, basically the entire game is your playground for free. So definitely a good time to jump in now, especially within the next few weeks. Now, early on, like the first week of September is the last week of this event that's going on right now, the Solstice of Heroes, which is a fantastic way to farm for materials, weapons, armor, that sort of thing. You get packages that you can open with keys that you get from playing just any activity in the game. You can earn the packages by completing the event you're seeing on your screen right now, the European Aerial Zone. You complete the event, you have to track down and find the chests, open them, you get loot boxes, you can open them with the keys, like I said, that you get from completing basically any activity in the game right now, and you get a ton of loot. And in fact, if you get to the magnificent set of Solstice of Heroes armor, you can get some really, really high stat roll gear for basically free. That's basically an end game amount of stats on your armor for just doing a farmable event. Now granted, the farmable event does get a little old because it hasn't really changed since last year either, but the gear that you can potentially get from it is really, really good. So if you still are hoping to flesh out a couple pieces of armor, or you don't have any armor and you want a couple good pieces before Beyond Light drops, the Solstice of Heroes event is the way to go. And it doesn't actually take all that terribly long to get to that magnificent set of armor as well. It's the armor, even though a lot of people don't like it, a lot of veteran players don't like being forced to play game modes they don't like. If you're coming into this as someone that's new or returning from a long break, going in and playing every single part of the game, it's kind of good. Kind of get a grasp of where the game is now. Stuff will be changing in November, especially Gambit. Gambit and Gambit Prime will be changing for the better, because it can't get much, well, I should say Gambit and Gambit Prime are pretty fun right now. But if you try to sweat it out, the meta hasn't really changed at all since those two activities were released. So the meta is kind of set in stone, and if you don't like it, you're not going to enjoy Gambit or Gambit Prime. But that's all changing, like I said, in November. Now, Crucible is always a good time, and you don't really have to worry about your power level in Crucible at all, but weapons and weapon rolls are very important in the Crucible, along with armor stats and that sort of thing. So Crucible is kind of where you get to test out your min-max gear against other players in the game, which is where I spend most of my time, is in PvP. So it's a good idea. While the game is in kind of this wind down mode, there's not much new content coming out between now and November. Get used to the game, enjoy it, build up a little bit of an arsenal, you know, if you're new or returning. A lot of weapons are going to be what is called sunset going into November, meaning that their power level can be increased beyond the current season's power. But basically, there's a great way to farm for armor and weapons that aren't going to be sunset, that are moving on, and that is the seasonal engrams that are called umbral engrams that you turn in near the drifter in the tower in the prismatic recaster. And it is a fantastic way to farm for weapons and armor that are moving on. Basically, you can get fantastic weapons just from stuff you pick up off the ground in any activity. Umbral engrams basically are thrown at you left and right, and as you play through the seasonal content, you can unlock ways to focus those engrams and give you exactly what you want versus just anything out of the loot pool for those pieces of, well, little loot boxes basically, but they're called engrams in this game. So if you are worried about getting into a game that has so much going on, because Destiny 2 really does, now is a great time to get your feet wet, learn the systems, get yourself some loot, then prepare for Beyond Light. If you have any questions about the game at all, don't be afraid to ask them. I'll answer them as best as I can. You can either post them in comments here in this video. There's a link down below to my Discord server. Feel free to join there. No question is a stupid question. Feel free to ask, and I will do my best. I'm sure other people in my community will answer them as well. If you have any questions about how the game works, that sort of thing. Or another option is if I am currently live streaming over on Twitch, you can pop over there, hop into chat, ask away. You know, I'll do my best to answer those questions while I'm more than likely in a Crucible or something like that. So that is it. That is it for this video. I know it's kind of an off-topic, weird video, I guess. I don't know. There hasn't really been much to review as far as new weapons go, so I figured I'll make a video kind of explaining how people should jump in to the game if they're on the fence about either returning or playing before Beyond Light. That is it for this video, so if you liked it, hit the like button, all that stuff. But don't forget to have a good day, everybody, and I'll catch you all next time.